What's up, everybody? It's your boy CJ here, back again with another Back to the Future old cartoons review. This is one of the shows that I actually forgot to include on one of my slideshows of my favorite, I think Nickelodeon shows. But I'm here to talk about it. Today's video is about the adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. I figured this show had a lot of it had like a lot of funny moments towards like certain seasons. I can't. I'm a check how many seasons, but I know I'm gonna say around the like half mark because they had 3 seasons. So I'm gonna say around season 2, beginning of season 3, they had a lot of funny moments and like just the show was just funny. You know what I'm saying? It has its funny moments, but whatever though. Characters you got Jimmy Neutron, you got Carl, you got Cindy who ends up liking Jimmy towards I wanna go like season 2 or yeah season 2. Then you got Sheen, and then you got Libby, which Sheen likes Libby, and then they end up dating after it's one of, I think, yeah, after the episode when she gets kidnapped, and I'm gonna talk about that episode. Then she I think that's when they start dating. Then you got characters like his mom Judy, and then Hugh, his father, which his father always talk about pies, all types of pies, apple pie, boysenberry, cherry pie, yeah, cherry pie. He loves pie and he loves ducks. His mom, every time she gets mad, she'll call his whole name. To my Jimmy, she was I think Jimmy Isaac Neutron, something like yeah. She'll call his whole name. And man, I never had like a feeling where a parent would call your full name because you know you're in trouble when they do that. And then other side characters, you got Jet Fusion, which is a secret agent later on in the season. Then you got Butch, Butch, he's that bully dude, he's a bully. Then you got characters like you got Bobby Stroganoff, something like that. He comes in again like later season, and like he's that foreign boy talking about slap slap slap, clap clap clap, slap slap slap, clap clap clap. Like his voice actually changed. I think like when he first entered into the season, the series, his voice sounded a little more different because the first episode he was in was the episode about the um vote episode to see who's gonna be class president between Jimmy, Sheen, and Libby, and Bobby was the fourth person, and he eventually won because Jimmy, Sheen, and Libby all was like blackmailing Carl because Carl was like the final vote. And what's so funny is that like when Mrs. Fowl is the teacher, when she be calling, she be like ah, and she hate. I think she hates Sheen because she'll be like Carl, she'll be like here it is, she'll be like Jimmy, she like Jimmy, Cindy, Libby. When she say Sheen, she like Sheen. Every time she says his name, she yells it out. But that episode about the voting episode, basically, when it got to the final part, the final like before the episode was going to end, they had it where like the votes were all tied, but one person forgot to vote, which was Carl. And then Carl, like he was sitting there, but he let himself no one was looking at him. He talking about why everybody's looking at me. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody looked at him, and he was the one that didn't vote. And he ended up he cracked under pressure, told Miss Fowl what happened, and then all three of them were disqualified, and Bobby became the president because you had Jimmy had a little chicks with him. You got Sheen trying to blackmail, and then Cindy, which was Libby's campaign manager, gave Carl $1. It was bribery. Other episodes, well, about other characters, you got Betty Quinlan, which Jimmy starts crushing on her when she when she enters into the season. You got Nemesis, his people that he don't like. You got Evil Jenny because the Evil Jimmy is when Jimmy makes a clone of like a whole bunch of different. He makes a whole bunch of clones of himself, and one of them becomes evil. And then like when all the other clones kind of leave, the evil clone is like trying to get rid of Jimmy, so he's like the only Jimmy left. You got freaking Doctor Calamitous. With him is like he always forgetful. So for example, he'll build a machine, but he never can complete it. So it'll be like it'll be half done basically. And he end up using it, and then something happens. And pretty it. You know, they had a crossover with the Fairy Odd Parents called Jimmy Timmy Power Hour 1, 2, and 3. But I'm not gonna talk about that though. Into the episodes. I mean, freaking. You had one episode. I think the episode. Well, okay, never mind. Here's one episode where Jimmy and Cindy got stranded on the island, and like they based. I guess they started liking each other. I think, but like you had Carl, Libby, and Sheen all was like looking for Jimmy and Cindy. And then when they found her, they was basically trying to convince them to come home. You know, to get out so we could leave the island. And Jimmy and I think it was Jimmy who didn't want to go. And then like, cause first it was like, you know, cause freaking Cindy always freaking she always takes a dump on Jimmy. And I don't mean that in a literal term. It's like the one episode where like he won the trophy, but then she was complaining, talking about, well, he's the one that started the mess and whatever and all that type of stuff. And so the principal had the trophy get cut in half and gave Jimmy the bottom half and Cindy had the top half. She always like freaking. But that's like the earlier season. She's kind of a freaking, you know, a freaking butt. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say what she is though, but comedy that's the episode when they were stranded on the island. I think it had a friend monkey, I think. And it was one I know. Carl was fighting the monkey with the bananas, and then like I think he eventually let the monkey have it. I think, yeah, it was like a whole bunch of bananas. It's one episode. It was an episode about when all four of them. I think it's four of them, right? No, five of them. My bad. All five of them were in class, and their teacher was like doing this boring kind of it's like a documentary or something, and everybody was like falling asleep, and it was about like mummies and all that type of stuff. And Jimmy decided, well, hey guys, let's go ahead, let's leave and go on an adventure. And then you know it was like, well, everybody's asleep, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Then they went to the tomb of the mummies and all that type of stuff. And then they had they was getting chased by the mummies. And then they had Livy. That's when Livy actually changed her hairstyle, because throughout like the whole first season, her hair was covering one of her eyes. She had like a ponytail. After this episode, she had straight braids, because I think she had looked like the princess, and then they basically made her look like the princess to tell the mummies what to do, so they can leave. You got the one episode where I think when Sheen started, I think you could say so-called started a relationship with Libby, was the episode where Sheen was what you call the so-called chosen one, and because he was able to take his leg and pit it behind it. I can't do that, but he was able to take this straight up, pit his leg, and it was like behind his head. And it's another dude which he got mad because Sheen was the chosen one. So I guess he wanted to be the chosen one, so he ended up he went to they had like a little not like a talent show, but it was like a freaking dance or something like that. And he was trying to kidnap Sheen, I think, but he instead kidnapped Libby. And then because they fought him twice. Because I remember the first time, no, I think it was only one time he took on that dude. Because the dude I'm talking about, the karate dude, I think he talks. I think he talks out loud I think he talks out loud to himself. I can't remember like his character though, but like it was more just fight, it was karate, it was fighting. And I remember the episode where when Sheen had to because they had to train Sheen in order to beat him, to beat the dude. And so here's the funny part, because they had the dude had like kept getting the pebble out of my hand. It was like and the dude kept saying and then they had they basically was going to throw freaking, I think, bricks or something like wood at Sheen so he can break it. And like one part where they kept throwing it and like do Carl. He yelled at Carl because like he couldn't hit it, but he kept hitting him in the head. And then and Carl, it's like Carl is like he can't eat too much stuff. Like he's like one of that kid. He's like a bubble kid, but not really. To the point he can't really do nothing. You know what I'm saying? To the point where like certain things he can't eat. He's always getting hurt. It's crazy. But what happened? The continued episode was basically Jimmy built his machine, and it was like a karate disc that they'll basically they'll like pick the helmet on Sheen's head and then pick the disc and then activate it, and then Sheen would know karate. But what happened was I think Carl sat on it, something like it broke it, and basically Sheen had to rely on his own instinct, and then he was getting his butt handed to him, and then like when he was knocked out, Libby was like, Sheen, get up! This is your girlfriend talking to you. You know, he's like, girlfriend, and it started echoing in Eye of Tiger. Well, he came back up. Okay, let's do it. And then start whooping, and then he beat old dude, and that was it. And that's when, because what happened was like because I guess the bad guy was assuming that Libby was his girlfriend. He kept saying, "Not my girlfriend," and then Jim was like, she's not. Ask her yourself." And then eventually, I guess they started dating after that, I believe. So the episode with I know it was one episode with they had the Valentine episode where like they had like you a spray. Jimmy had a little spray, and it made him basically I think he had to spray the girls, I think, or spray himself. Either way, the smell made it where like if he sprayed on himself, it made it where Cindy would would smell it and then like the smell and be attracted to him. And then I remember I think it was an accident though, cause I remember when I think his back had hit something, and then like it had showed that I think the fumes was like coming out his air did the vents, I think. But I know it's one episode where I think he finally admitted that he liked this Cindy, cause the one episode where they went to the moon to go get space rubies, and they called it space madness because like you obsess over these things and then like you go crazy and all that. But freaking Cindy had like the freaking dress on with like the moon makeup, all that type of stuff, and then Jim was just like, I wasn't looking at you, and that's what you were thinking, and like it's like she was disturbed, like she was distracting him, like because they had one part where she was standing there, and like the glow off was like, wow, Cindy looks so beautiful, and like, oh wait a minute, because I can't remember when they actually started dating. I know he did kiss her though. I know they kissed a couple of times. Another episode, you got Jet Fusion. Oh man, I freaking love this episode. They made him 2 times. The first time he was capturing Jimmy, it was Jimmy had to go. Well, I think Jimmy, Sheen, and Carl had to go get him. And I remember the last part it was snowing down the freaking mountain, but going down the mountain. But the one episode I like was he was getting married to Gorgeous. No, I think Beautiful Gorgeous. Yeah, Beautiful Gorgeous. I mean, I'm not gonna let you could say she's beautiful and gorgeous at the same time. I mean, that's her name, Beautiful Gorgeous, and like she was marrying him, and it had her with like Jim was like, you know what, I don't like her. I mean, what's going on? I don't think y'all should be married. And I mean, he didn't really say that, but you could the way how he was acting was like, I don't trust her. You know what I'm saying? Then you had it where she ended up locking Jimmy up. And like she was saying, haha, you know what I'm saying, you try to spoil and plan, but it's not gonna work. I think that she hypnotized Larry, or she hypnotized him to marry her. And then they didn't get married because at the end, no. Jet was hypnotized, and it was like some words he kept saying. I forgot what it was, but every time you hear that word, he'll go crazy like, "Rah!" And then there's a word they'll say that reversed it. And then it had to the point where like they did that, and then like he kept attacking her, he kept trying to attack everybody. Then wait a minute, I can't remember. I thought it was coming to me. I forget. Oh man, I can't remember. Cause I thought it was coming to him, but it didn't. But either way, all that, and they had a little song where like the song they was singing was catchy, and then they kept insulting Sheen. Cause I think they said everybody can sing except Sheen. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? One of my favorite original episodes from I think the first season was the Pants episode where Jimmy did he refused to I forgot. I can't forget about Garter. I can't the robot dog. I'm sorry I forgot about him. It took this long for me to freaking even mention him, but I forgot about mentioning him. But back to the episode when he refused to iron his clothes. And so what he did was like he put these nano chips that the clothes will like fold himself and put them back in his closet themselves. But the chip kind of stopped working, and the whole town was freaking run by his pants. And then Jimmy had to make this machine thing to pants to stop the pants. And then that was so tight because had like freaking everybody had all their pants like jump off their body, but you had it with like limit, like you had freaking scene like, huh, I could do this all day, Neutron. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know what I'm saying, just freaking knocking them out and something like that. It was so cool, you know what I'm saying? And you got, oh, I forgot, what's the freaking robot's name? That, not a robot, the dude that Sheen is freaking loves, the little toy. I freaking forgot. I'm trying to look for it, but it's not. He's not really a character. He's a toy that freaking Sheen loves. By I don't. It's not even. I can't even find it. But yeah, it's like a toy that Sheen freaking loves. Cause it was an episode where he wanted to be. It's basically Jimmy created his machine for like basically you can virtualize yourself into your own game. And what had happened was you had where Sheen was like, okay, I want to do this before Carl comes over because he's like, I don't want Carl to freaking be in my games like that because he can't play video games and we'll lose. So they had where okay, they was in there, and then like when Carl came, Carl freaking he messed it up. Like he was freaking controlling everything. Wait a minute, hey, I thought Astro is no Captain. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh man, I can't think of it right now. I thought I had it. But what had happened was basically Carl was like he was just doing all kinds of stuff, and then like and then she and Jim was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why does the level keep starting over? Carl! And then they had basically that didn't work out. Carl eventually put himself into the game, but then Jimmy and Sheen they beat the freaking they beat the game, and then they got out of the game, and then Carl he's like, you know what? Let's leave him in there until breakfast time or lunch. You know what I'm saying? That was it. Another episode I freaking love was the sleepover episode about when Jimmy created this freaking like bedtime story thing that had pizzas, like little pillows for pillow fights, and then a story time. What happened was they all kept having nightmares because what had happened was they first they had the pizza, they first they were pillow fight, and then they had the pizza, and then they had the story time, and then when you cut it off, they all had nightmares, and they nightmares each led into the next person. Well, you had like I think the first nightmare was I think Jimmy's, I think. Because Carl's nightmare ended up when he ran upstairs and he jumped, and then the little pieces, cause he had split up into different slices that ate Carl. He woke up, and then cause I remember then Sheen's was like he was holding the piece like and then no I think that was no I think and then the pizza had his own nightmare. I think that was the pizza's nightmare when Sheen had the pizza in his hand like and he's like and then the pizza woke up like I freaking had this crazy dream. It was about a tubby kid, a crazy one, and a one with a large head. And Jimmy's nightmare was when Jimmy figured out how to get rid of the pizza, but then the pizza was like fools. Have you ever heard of sequel? And he all woke up. No, he woke up, and their dad nightmare was it was getting chased by the pillows that became evil. So basically, all of them except his mom all had nightmares. I mean, you got a lot of episodes. You got an episode where cause like Jimmy, he has a brain blast, so he'll create like an invention or he'll do something, and it turns out bad, and he have to like think, and then like zoom, and then like brain blast, and then he fixes it, and then he ends up fixing it. One episode, probably my last episode I'm gonna talk about, but this last episode is the party episode where they had to he basically created like this device to like he can like fast forward like anything. Well, he been had that. The VS, he been had that. But he basically had a party to impress Betty Quinn, and then his parents would come home, and he was like, guys, you guys gotta go. And they, no one was listening to him, like, and they all was messing with his stuff and junk. And oh man, how can I forget about the character Neil Goldman? No, not Neil Goldman. It was a Neil, I think. No, Nick. He's freaking the boy. He's like the freaking pretty boy that everybody likes. Forgot about him. Basically, Jimmy ended up fast forwarding, and then they got to the point like, oh, I'm so tired, and like and then they all went home, and then he had guard clean everything up, and then his dad was attacked by the freaking like a little baby like Velociraptor. That wasn't the cause that Jimmy had knocked. It was knocked out because it was chasing him, and I think they had to hit him with the door, and then the thing was in there. Then when his dad opened up the closet and picked the freaking his coat nut, the dinosaur grabbed it and be like, honey, when did we have a velociraptor in the closet? And she's like, James Isaac Neutron. I can fix that. He always says that. I can fix that. But that's really all I have. That's the end of this review. If you like the video, click that like button, leave a comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Deuces.